Israel is your friend, your close ally, but what's being called the disproportionate use of force, does that worry you? Does that make you, children being killed, hundreds of children, schools being bombed, don't you tell them sometime, hey friend, you're doing yourself damage and doing us damage too? Don't you feel it's disproportionate use of force?
What worries me is that an organization that has been labeled and appropriately identified internationally as a terrorist organization started firing rockets indiscriminately against another country. And no country can sit there and live with tunnels being dug under its border, out of which jump people who are carrying handcuffs and tranquilizer drugs in order to kidnap their citizens and take them back and hold them for ransom. That's not, no country can support that.
But
so
the
it's very difficult.
response.
Yeah, but I know.
Do you feel there is disproportionate?
Look, it's a terrible thing when any civilian is killed in any war. And I understand that. I've been to war. I know what happens when civilians get killed. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And there's nobody in Israel who doesn't hate the fact that innocent civilians are caught in this crossfire. But unfortunately, Hamas has a record of also putting civilians into harm's way purposefully as part of an effort. Now, look, I don't want to get caught. What's important here is...
That sounds a bit like when you're bombing a school, you're not putting a citizen in the way.
I don't know who did that.
Right.
And
you
nor
don't know
do you.
who did that?
I don't know.
Whoever did it, it was wrong.
Of course you don't bomb schools and you don't want children to be hurt. But we also need to know the facts before we start.
Because there's that terrible
Here's what we
phrase.
need to do. Let me tell you what's important.
I'll just tell you a terrible phrase.
But let me tell you what's important.
Stuff happens and this is collateral damage.
No,
you don't believe in that. I know your background, you don't believe in that.
I'm not buying into any flip, quick phrases that deal with this.
No, that's
this is not that. This is a terrible situation where we clearly want a ceasefire. Nobody's been working harder than I have to try to find a way towards a ceasefire so that we can actually negotiate the very complicated, long-standing differences and issues that are at stake here.
But
the Palestinians want and deserve a country. And we support a two-state solution. President Obama supports it. We support it. We're working towards that. But the place to work towards it is not on a battlefield. It's at the negotiating table, and that's where we want to go.
But excessive force, is it damaging your cause?
Well, if it is, look.
No, yes or no on that? Excessive force.
I don't know if it's been excessive or not. I can't make that judgment because I don't know what happened. There are allegations of people firing their own rockets and accidentally hitting people and then blaming it on the other side.
Right.
Or there are allegations of people being purposefully put in harm's way. Right. This is not the time for the Secretary of State of the United States to start making those judgments. What we're trying to do is stop the violence, get the people to the table, and negotiate the real solution that once and for all ends this violence going forward.